Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, hi, hello, my name is Gabby. I am 27. I live here in regional Victoria, Australia. I am a qualified pastry chef who's just recently returned back to work 2 days a week, as I've just recently returned back. What am I saying? I'm a pastry chef who's recently returned back to work 2 days a week, as I had a baby just over a year ago. So I'm slowly transitioning into getting back into work. And on the other days of the week, I'm a stay-at-home mum. I don't know where I'm going with this intro. I completely stuffed it up. So anyway, my content consists of me being a stay-at-home mum because that is currently in my life at the moment, but also I show behind the scenes of my career as well. So we've done pregnancy chat, we've done motherhood chat, we've done labor chat, postpartum chat. Let's do pastry school chat, shall we? I thought we would go through what my journey was like when I went to pastry school, my toolbox, my uniform, whether I recommend it or not to other people who want to get into the industry. So let's get into it, shall we? So I went and studied a Cert 3 in patisserie at the William Angus Institute. As someone who's watching that is not from Australia, it is a culinary institute here in Australia. They have a campus in Melbourne and in Sydney. They are within the same realms as TAFE, but they are just strictly only hospitality industry. So you can do any hospitality certificate. You can do hotel management, like cookery, patisserie, baking, any other management courses. You can do your RSA, you can do your coffee certificates, all sorts of stuff. So, and I went and studied at the campus that is in Melbourne because that is more my local. Well, I wouldn't say local. It's like a 2-hour drive from where I live, but it was the closest one to me. I did have the option to go and study at TAFE. My local TAFE do not offer patisserie as a subject. They used to have it like many years ago, but they don't get enough students to participate, so they don't offer it as an option anymore. There are two different certificates that you can do in patisserie. There's a Cert 3 and there's the Cert 4. There were a couple of extra subjects with the Cert 4, like they had a sugar one and like cake decorating and all those sorts of stuff. I didn't do any of that, but low-key wish I did. So I just studied a Cert 3 in patisserie. It is a 24-month course, and there was about, I think there was maybe 20 or 22 units that I had to complete. I was very lucky enough that many years ago, I also studied a diploma of hospitality management, and a lot of the courses actually crossed over. So a lot of like the theory components of the unit I was able to get out of because I had already done them prior. Some of them also crossed over with another hospitality course that I did back when I was in high school. So I was able to get out of a lot of it, which was really great because doing theory work is not my forte. The prac stuff was more of my thing, which was perfectly fine because that was pretty much all that I had to do, was mainly just all the prac work. I will talk about cost. It is an upfront cost. Generally with TAFE or like the Institute of TAFE, you have to pay for your course either as you go along or upfront or whatever. You can't like, I don't think you can get a loan. I don't think it's the same realm as like your HECS debt, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it, but I personally had to pay upfront. So every time I had to lodge into a new unit, I had to pay for that unit before I started it. When I was studying at William Angus, I went to the campus itself for, I think it was about for 6 to 7 months. At the time, I was working full-time. So I would work full-time. I would have a class on a Wednesday night. I would do that at home through Zoom, just depending on what type of unit it was. And then on a Saturday, I would have a prac class. So after work on a Friday, I would drive all the way down to Melbourne, stay at my sister's house, because thankfully she lives in Melbourne. I was able to just room with her, which was really convenient. And then I would go to the prac class all day on a Saturday and come home. Over the first 2 terms, that was fine. I was able to keep track of everything and do all of that. But then when it came into the 3rd term, I had to also go to Melbourne on a Wednesday night. So I had to drive all the way to Melbourne, do a class and come home. I couldn't do that. Not only like working full time, at the time I was working at a bakery, and I also didn't work in town, I worked out of town. So there was also extra travel to go with it. So it just didn't work out for me to continue going to the campus as much as I really wanted to, because I feel like I learned a whole lot more when I was going to the actual institute itself. It was just a lot, and I just couldn't continue doing it in that way. Because you have 2 different options. So you can either go and do your certificate at the institute, or you can do an apprenticeship, which is what I then transitioned to. So I could do it locally. I then transitioned into doing an apprenticeship, or they call it a traineeship, I think, it's the same thing. So locally, I went and just worked at a local bakery. It's still the same bakery that I work at now. And I was able to do all of my prac work at my workplace. And then I would have a teacher come and see me every now and then. I would email them and we would correspond. And they would come and visit me at my workplace. And we'd go through all of the units, all of the prac work, all of the theory work, all of it together. And then, yeah, if you have any questions or anything like that, they can ring you, they can email you if you need any help. They're really hands-on in that way, which I really appreciated. For anyone that doesn't know, I actually struggle with dyslexia. So doing all of the theory work for me is very difficult. For anyone that is watching who is also dyslexic, I'm sure you can understand where I'm coming from with that. So them being really hands-on with me as a student and being able to show you all of the prac stuff, go through everything with you like really thoroughly was really helpful for me. So yeah, I did my course. I did 6 to 7 months at the actual Culinary Institute, and then I worked for a whole year in the actual industry itself before I then became qualified. So I was able to finish my course before the 24 months, which I was really grateful for. I'm sure if I didn't do all of those other theory work like years prior, I probably wouldn't have finished it as quickly as I did, but it all worked out. So I will show you what the uniform is like. So if you go onto their website, they literally have the entire outfit for you, so you just have to go in there and click on it and buy it. You don't have to like go and search for everything, which is really handy for all the girls out there. Now when you go on the website, it will come up with the male chef jacket. Go searching for the women's, because this men's chef jacket just does not sit well. It's so straight. So that is what it looks like. That's a really bad, I'm not showing this very well. I feel like I need to put it on, but I really don't want to put it on. You get the gist. And then you get the little hat, the little patisserie hat, your fucking scarf, which I can't even put on, your necktie or whatever the hell it's called. And then you got your chef bottoms, and then you've got the apron. Mine's really stained, so just ignore that. And then you got your pick of boots. Now, see these boots? Don't buy them. They're very uncomfortable. There were so many other options of shoes, but I thought these looked the cutest. Don't do what I did, because these are very heavy and very uncomfortable, and wearing them all day and seeing this bit here, these bits, they just like rub on your ankle. So uncomfortable. I don't recommend. Don't do what I did. Now let's discuss the essentials of your pastry school experience. Your toolbox. I love my toolbox. I love whipping this out. It makes me look really smart, you know? I might reposition myself so I can show you my toolbox properly. Also, I'm going to quickly clean it up before I show you. This is my toolbox. I bought this again on the website that is connected with the William Angus Institute. I think it's called like Chef something. Don't quote me on that. It is the best bloody thing on this planet Earth. If you are wanting to get into being a pastry chef, or even honestly, even if you're not even doing the course, but you want all of the essentials, even just for at home, this is the best. It pretty much has all of the equipment that you will possibly need. So at the top here, whether you can see, at the top here, you've got 3 little compartments. In here, there's like a pen compartment, and then there's these 2 other bigger compartments. I just kept my lock in here, and also the key to your toolbox. Now, if you are watching this and you are from Australia, when you are walking in public and you have your toolbox with you, it has to be locked, and you have to do that by law. If you are taking public transport and you just so happen to walk into a police officer, you can get fined for having your toolbox not locked. Reason for that, you have knives in here. You will get charged for handling weapons. Okay? So again, when you're in public, lock your bloody toolbox. So let's open her up. It's a bit messy, so please don't judge. So at the top here, you have a little storage compartment, which you can just pick up and take off. And then you have the bottom compartment. So in my top compartment here, you pretty much want all of your essential items at the top, because they're the items that you use the most during class. So that would be, for instance, I have a little calculator, pair of scissors, I've got a lighter, a brush, thermometer, I've got my nozzles here. So it comes with a bunch of star tips and a whole lot of just circle round tips. I have my measuring spoons, my zester. I've got a ruler, my peeler, my paring knife, and my chef knife. Did I say I have a ruler? I have a ruler, my big metal spoon, and my tester spoon to test your food. I don't know why I have this at the top here, but it's probably just because they're small. But I also have some metal fondant tools. That's everything that I have at the top. It's just because it's easy access. You're not having to like search through everything that's in the toolbox to go and get it. It's just sitting there right at the top, all easily accessible. Alrighty, let's get through the rest of it, shall we? I have my mitts. It comes with these annoying mitts. I fucking hate these mitts. They have very similar mitts at work. The reason I don't like them is you don't have any protection on the top of your hands. You can easily burn yourself, so be careful with them. So it comes with a couple of scrapers. So you've got this big one here. This is for tempering chocolate. So when you do the certificate 4, you'll use this if you are tempering chocolate. I have my steel scraper, which also has like a ruler down the bottom just to help you measure stuff, and my plastic scraper. It also comes with a silicone rubber mat. You get some reusable piping bags, and this is also an option, but I also went and bought my own ones that you can just throw away. These ones are actually biodegradable. I really recommend. I'm pretty sure they're made of like bamboo. You can just buy them on the website as well. So I bought a whole roll of these. These were very cheap. I can't remember how much they cost, but I'm pretty sure they were pretty cheap, which is why I bought several of them. I've got a scraper or a spatula, whatever you want to call it. Wooden spoon, one of those strainer spoons. Is that what you call it with the holes? I don't know. You've got your whisk, your tongs, zester, knife sharpener, which I clearly haven't used. I still have the plastic on it. We have a little sieve and the candy thermometer, which again is for your sugar molding candy making class. We've got more fondant tools. So I've got some molding tools here in this little case and the little rolling pin. Also got all these different size offset spatulas, aka palette knives, whatever you want to call them. You've got your cookie cutters or pastry cutters. And last but not least, my serrated knife. And that is everything in my toolbox. Now I have to put it all back. Now, would I recommend pastry school to other people who are wanting to go and study patisserie? 110%. I absolutely love it. If I had the ability to be able to do my entire course over in Melbourne, I 100% would have done that. So I also recommend it as something that you could do as an apprenticeship within the workplace. 100%. It is very flexible learning. You can do all of your schoolwork within your own time frame. They're really proactive and really hands-on sort of institute and teaching, which I really love. As someone who is a very visual learner, I absolutely thrived in that environment. So I could not recommend it enough. Why would I recommend it over just going to TAFE and just doing the standard baking certificate? At TAFE, you have to take time off work to go and be there for a week or two at a time. At the TAFE that I have here locally, you can't do any work outside of TAFE. They don't let you take it home, which I think is stupid. When I did my diploma, I was able to go and do that. The classes were very different, but by the sounds of the boys that I work with when they did their apprenticeship through TAFE, they weren't allowed to do any of the workload outside of TAFE. They had to do it all there, and then a few months later when they go back, then they would do a couple of more units. I don't like that personally. I don't like being worked under pressure, if that makes sense. Trying to do all of the theory work, I personally like to do that in my own time and do it within my own time frame. Just with my dyslexia, that just works better with me personally. Whether if you go to the William Angus Institute, you just do it all within your own time. You do it all within the workplace. If you wanted to go do a class, they're very open with you, like more than happy to go do a class at the Institute if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to do the marzipan class, like you couldn't mold marzipan at work, they're more than happy for you to go and do the actual class itself in Melbourne if you wanted to. Just with like my work hours and all that sort of stuff, it just didn't work out for me to go back and forth. But as I was able to do the theory work within my own time, I would work in the morning, 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. There'd be times where I would just have a nap, go to the gym, and then I would do schoolwork in the afternoon, or just do schoolwork for the whole afternoon, and that just worked a lot better for me. So if you're ever wanting to get into the industry, I highly recommend it. If you are an extremely creative person, you love working hands-on, a perfectionist like myself, and just find it really interesting on how the food works, the food science behind it, the temperatures, like all of the information that you get to learn. It was an incredible experience. You get to work with some of the most amazing teachers and chefs who have been in the industry for decades. They have teachers who are there that's literally worked all over the world. One of my teachers owned 2 patisseries in France and had been in the industry for 45 years. So he was very knowledgeable, and you just learn so much. And I feel like it's just stuff that you wouldn't learn if you are in the workplace. I definitely learned a whole lot more while I was at the institute than what I learned when I was within my workplace, which just happens. It's just how it is. So yeah, if you're wanting to sign up, I highly recommend it. Definitely give it a go, give it a try, see how you go. Definitely give it a shot. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video and following along, and continue to follow along with my journey. If you enjoy this kind of video, definitely let me know, or give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe and follow along for more. If you're interested in learning any more about my life as a pastry chef, or getting into the industry and what my journey was like and all that sort of stuff, more than happy to do another video and talk to you guys about it. But on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you want to follow along for more in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! I went to pastry school, so you didn't have to. I'm not saying that.